Archaeologists are expected to make fascinating discoveries, but they aren't always expected to fully understand what they uncover. When faced with a puzzling find, they often seek help from colleagues in the scientific community. However, some discoveries defy even expert explanation. In such cases, we're left with archaeological mysteries, like the ones you'll see in this video. Retrieved from the earth, with much more expected to surface. January 2021 was a fruitful yet somewhat grim period for archaeologists in England due to the unearthing of a vast Anglo-Saxon burial ground in Northamptonshire. Over 150 interments have been identified at the site so far, many of which contain ancient relics. Some of the artifacts and structures excavated at the location thus far can be traced back to the Bronze Age, 4 millennia ago. The Anglo-Saxon burials are more recent, dating back approximately 1,500 years, and typically feature weaponry and adornments within the graves. The discovery of the cemetery and its human remains led archaeologists to extend their search for an associated settlement, which they eventually located nearby. Traces of 40 Adua's distinct structures have been uncovered, spanning from the 5th century to the 11th. Among these edifices are 3 additional barrows and 4 significantly older constructions from the Bronze Age. This historically abundant site would likely have remained undiscovered if not for preliminary excavations conducted in preparation for the development of a new residential complex in the Overstone area. To date, more than 2 mill beads, queen's rings, Quarenta knives, queen's shields, 25 spears, and approximately 150 brooches have been retrieved from the earth, with much more expected to surface. In 1865, a 2-year-old schooner from New Zealand named the Daring was wrecked on the shores of Muriwai Beach during a tempest. The remains were swiftly engulfed by mud and sand, only to be revealed once again when shifting sands exposed them in May 2018. This instantly became an invaluable discovery for New Zealand. The vessel was constructed from native timber using traditional craftsmanship techniques that are no longer practiced anywhere else in the world, making it an exceptionally rare surviving specimen of 19th century shipbuilding. Remarkably, goods were still found inside the vessel when it resurfaced. A neckerchief was discovered in the bilges, distinguished by its intricate Masonic symbols. Other intriguing artifacts recovered from the wreckage include clay pipes, coins, and a pair of impeccably preserved black leather shoes. The silk scarf features depictions of the menorah, the Star of David, Solomon's Temple, the Masonic Star, and a laurel. At its center, the iconic Masonic square and compasses are prominently displayed. This would have likely been a treasured possession of its owner, making its presence in the bilges somewhat perplexing. When Mount Vesuvius erupted in the year 79 and entombed the nearby town of Pompeii beneath ash and rubble, it was the most catastrophic natural disaster that Italy had ever witnessed. Yet it also gave rise to the most extraordinary archaeological site that historians have ever encountered. Archaeologists have been excavating the site for well over 2 centuries, and in December 2018, they made the exceptionally rare discovery of the remains of a horse still adorned with its harness inside its ancient stable. Based on the clues at the scene, it is probable that the stable was situated within the estate of a high-ranking Roman military officer. According to Massimo Osanna, the director of the long-established archaeological park at Pompeii, the horse likely met a gruesome fate. That is true of everyone and everything that succumbed in Pompeii on that ill-fated day. Most of Pompeii's affluent inhabitants owned horses, yet equine remains are seldom unearthed at the site. Experts speculate that this is likely because the residents attempted to flee the calamity using their horses, with some perhaps even managing to escape. Smoking is a detrimental habit, but it is also an ancient one. While Europeans may not have become aware of tobacco's properties until they reached the Americas, the Mayans had been indulging in it for 1,000 years. In early 2021, archaeologists announced the discovery of 14 ancient Mayan drug containers, offering fresh insights into the recreational practices of this enigmatic civilization. The ceramic vessels hold traces of dried, cured tobacco, along with a plant known as Mexican marigold. The plant was presumably blended with the tobacco to enhance the smoking experience. Intriguingly, some of the containers also contain remnants of other plants, which may have possessed psychoactive effects. It is documented that ancient Mayan shamans experienced prophetic visions, allowing them to craft their renowned predictions. It now appears plausible that many of these prophecies were conceived during smoking rituals. While somewhat rudimentary, the vessels themselves bear a resemblance to those used in certain illicit smoking practices today. It seems that humanity has relished altered states of mind ever since discovering they were achievable. They say that great things come in small packages, so this discovery from February 2021 must be particularly remarkable. It's a set of lead miniatures found inside an Imperial-era grave in Alba-la-Romaine, France. These artifacts belong to a collection of 20 newly unearthed graves, buried less than 2 feet beneath the surface of a bustling crossroads. Based on the available evidence at the site, it appears that the individuals interred here passed away during the 1st and 2nd centuries. Grave goods were present in all the burials upon inspection, but these lead miniatures are unlike anything archaeologists have encountered before. One of them is a tiny pair of sandals hanging from a coat hook, while the other is a set of 4 stridules attached to a ring. The symbolism of these objects remains a mystery, but they may have been linked to their owner's profession or pastimes. The presence of a circular masonry structure at the heart of the burial site suggests this was a family plot. It may be connected to the expansive Roman villa discovered just 1,000 feet away in 2005. We have long known that some of the world's most ancient and extraordinary cave art is hidden within the caves of Sulawesi, Indonesia. However, in January 2021, researchers uncovered something even more astonishing: the oldest known animal painting in the world. This depiction of a wild pig, rendered in red ochre, dates back approximately 45,500 years. The painting is lifelike and full-sized, seemingly part of a broader narrative scene adorning the walls of a cave called Liang Tadongna. Beyond being the world's oldest animal painting, it also represents the earliest evidence of human habitation in the region. Scientists were able to date the artwork thanks to a calcite deposit that had formed atop it, which was suitable for uranium series isotope analysis. Test results confirmed the deposit's age as 45,500 years, though the painting itself could be even older. Above the pig's hindquarters, 2 human handprints are visible, possibly left by the artist or artists as a signature. 2 additional pigs once faced this one on the wall, but unfortunately, they have not withstood the ravages of time. Around 18,000 years ago, a prehistoric inhabitant of France picked up a conch shell and transformed it into a musical instrument, specifically a horn. In February 2021, it was finally played again. The horn was originally discovered in 1931 near the entrance of Marula's cave, nestled in the foothills of the French Pyrenees. Experts believe it to be the oldest known conch shell horn in the world, though that wasn't its initial identification. When it was first unearthed in the 1930s, scholars mistook it for a ceremonial drinking vessel. It wasn't until 2016 that the artifact was re-evaluated, revealing its true purpose. Even then, years of careful study were needed to determine whether its sound could be safely reproduced. Musicologists and wind instrument specialists from the University of Toulouse meticulously examined the conch shell, while scientists conducted tests to ensure that blowing through it wouldn't cause damage. Eventually, trumpet player Jean-Michel Court received the green light to give it a try, and discovered that it produces an eerily haunting tone. The sound was likely amplified by being played inside caves, but the exact context of its use remains a mystery. The mighty ancient city of Tenochtitlan stood as the capital of the Aztec Empire until Hernán Cortés and his Spanish conquistadors arrived and conquered it in November 1519. The Spanish invaders destroyed countless Aztec monuments and works of art, but fortunately they didn't obliterate everything. One of the remarkable remnants is a stunning golden eagle bas-relief, recently unearthed at the site of Templo Mayor. This large stone carving, measuring 4 feet in length and 2 feet in width, is embedded in the base of Templo Mayor as part of a chapel dedicated to Huitzilopochtli. Archaeologists believe it was created during the reign of Moctezuma I, also known as Moctezuma Ilhuicamina, between 1440 and 1469. It is well established that Templo Mayor was a sacred site for the Aztecs and a focal point for human sacrificial rituals. As a result, this eagle carving likely bore witness to more than its fair share of bloodshed during the temple's active years. While Aztec symbolism remains complex and not fully understood, the eagle was strongly associated with both sacrifice and warfare. It was even believed to be the shape-shifting embodiment of the sun, serving as a guardian of Aztec rulers. But what significance does the specific placement of this bas-relief hold? That question remains unanswered. Here in the 21st century, it's becoming increasingly common for men to use face creams and makeup. However, this isn't the beginning of a new trend. It's the revival of an old one. In fact, evidence suggests that men in China were applying face cream as a cosmetic over 2,700 years ago. The discovery of an ancient form of makeup or face cream inside a bronze jar took place at the Liujiawa Archaeological site in northern China in January 2021. Archaeologists and historians believe the cream was used to make men's faces appear whiter. This particular area of the site is known to have once been a nobleman's district within the ancient city, which was part of the vassal state of Ruyi. This suggests that the use of such creams may have been reserved for the ruling class. The cream itself is composed of animal fats mixed with a substance known as moon milk, a carbonate-rich mud collected from caves. As it dries, the mud turns white, giving rise to its name. The exact reason why an ancient Chinese aristocrat would have wanted to lighten his complexion remains unclear. Perhaps it was a way to distinguish himself from the commoners around him. In early 2017, a discovery reshaped the established history of the early Slavs. Inside a cave at the Lani Břeclav archaeological site in Czechia, a team of archaeologists from Masaryk University uncovered several broken pottery fragments alongside an animal rib, upon which a few runes had been etched. This represents the earliest known example of Slavs using any form of written communication, and the discovery came with an unexpected twist. Rather than being written in Glagolitic script, which was long believed to be the first Slavic writing system, the bone is inscribed with Germanic runes. Radiocarbon dating indicates that the cattle bone is approximately 1,420 years old. The script itself traces back even further, originating around the year 200. Rather than forming a coherent message, the inscription appears to be a simple sequence of characters, possibly the entire alphabet in order. Unfortunately, the fragmentary nature of the bone means it's impossible to say for certain. Nevertheless, this finding forces historians to reconsider the origins and evolution of Slavic written language. You might want to look away for the next few seconds if you're squeamish. Don't say we didn't warn you. In the 19th century, a Frenchman lived who may have been the most heavily tattooed man of his time. When he passed away, his body was laid to rest, but not before his skin was removed and preserved. Here it is, tattoos and all. While preserving sections of tattooed skin as curiosities wasn't unheard of in the 19th century, completely skinning someone and preserving their entire hide is extremely rare. In fact, this is the only known case in Europe. The only other fully preserved human skins of this kind are found in Japan. Based on the designs inked on his body, this Frenchman must have been quite a character. The word bonheur, French for happiness, is boldly inscribed in large capital letters just above his genitals. His skin has darkened over the years, but in 2021, modern CT scanning technology was used to reveal all of his tattoos in detail for the first time. He has 58 in total, most of which depict human figures, particularly a woman named Florine, who appears twice. The presence of an anchor alongside the phrase "Long live the fleet" in French suggests he was a naval officer. As macabre as his preserved skin may be, it's likely that he donated it to medical science. The Pazyryk rug is believed to be the oldest surviving rug or carpet in the world, standing as a testament to the artistry and refinement of the ancient Pazyryk nomads of Siberia. It may not look pristine today, but its scuffs, marks, and tears can be forgiven when you consider that it will soon be 2,600 years old. This remarkable floor covering was discovered inside the burial mound of a Scythian prince by Russian archaeologist Sergei Rudenko in 1941. Perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the rug is that, both in composition and style, it closely resembles many traditional rugs still crafted today. Under normal circumstances, organic materials like this wouldn't survive for millennia, but the Pazyryk rug was an exception. Long before Sergei uncovered the tomb, it had been broken open, exposing its contents to the freezing Mongolian cold, which inadvertently preserved everything inside in near-perfect condition. Although it was found in Siberia, experts are uncertain whether it was made there. The burial site lay along what was once a bustling trade route between China and Central Asia, meaning its true origins could be anywhere along that ancient path. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy fresh new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching.